I gotta pay how much at closing for Hawaii taxes? What are you talking about? That's a question that I get asked all the time. And what we're talking about is HARPTA. And no, it's not taxes. It is a withholding. So for people who do not live in the state of Hawaii and they're selling property that they own in the state of Hawaii, there's a tax law called HARPTA, Hawaii Real Property Tax Act. And that says that 7.25% of the sale price of the property has to be withheld to go towards paying for the seller's capital gains. The crazy thing about that is the buyer's responsible for that. But really nobody ever hears about that or talks about that because escrow takes care of making sure all of those funds are withheld. Now, I get asked this question all the time. Do I have to pay it? And the answer is most of the times, if you're not a resident, yes. There is a couple things that can change that. Now, as I mentioned, if you are a resident, you're still responsible for HARPTA, but you can file a 289 form that just says, hey, I'm a state of Hawaii resident, and then you're exempt from doing that. There's a couple other things that you're exempt from it for as well, but the 289 form will get you exempt from a 1099 tax deferred exchange or another way to be exempt from paying the HARPTA as well. But there's a few details that we can go over. Just give me a call if you want more information about that. But let's talk about what happens when they do collect it and you're saying, well, how do I get my refund back because they collected more than my taxes are? That's a great question. So there's two ways that you can do that. One is you can file your tax return January 1st or later of the following year after the sale and apply your withholding tax and get the refund back. But it could be a lot of money, so other people will ask, is there a way for me to get my money back sooner than that? And there is a way to do that, and you would use the form N288C, which will allow you to get a refund before you file your taxes. Now, you can't do that until they send the tax, until we close. They will send the withholding money into the state. The escrow company will give a statement that it's been sent in. Once you get the statement that it's been sent in and received from the state, you can then file the 288C and get your refund. Now, to do that, you're going to have all the documentation of what you paid for the property, any capital gains you have, and what the sale price was, and the expenses in that sale also. Now, once you do that and calculate the amount of taxes due, they'll give you a refund. But keep in mind that you also have to account for any depreciated income that you took off of the property value through the course of your ownership. So that sometimes catches people off guard. They think, well, I didn't make any money on it. I bought it for $500,000 and I sold it for $500,000 and I owned it for 5 years. But if they depreciated it over those 5 years, that recapture of the depreciation becomes taxable. And so that you need to be aware of that. A lot of idiosyncrasies in this, but the answer to the question is yes, you can get the money back before you file your tax return. You just have to file those forms. Escrow will help you. We'll help you when we work through the process to try to make it as seamless as possible. And also know that it is 7.25%, but it's not a tax, it's a withholding. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, what about FIRPTA? Well, FIRPTA is the federal version of this, and that's for anyone who is not a United States citizen. So anybody from Canada, any of our foreigner investment purchasers here in the islands would be responsible for both FIRPTA and HARPTA. So just keep that in mind. Again, neither one of them are taxes. They're both withholdings just to make sure that you pay your taxes on the capital gains. I hope this wasn't too confusing, and I hope it makes sense, and I hope it answers your questions about HARPTA and how do I get my money back. I'm Tom Tezak with Hawaii Life. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember, if you have any questions about Maui real estate, Hawaii real estate, or real estate anywhere in the world for that matter, let me know. I might just be able to help you out.